Yo. How is everybody doing today? Welcome to the Risen Fallen podcast. I am your host, Mark Hendrickson. If you're brand new to this show, then what you can expect is open and authentic conversations about things like mental health, self-development, and how to get your life moving in the right direction if you're not feeling good about where you are right now in the world, where you are in life, or anything like that. At least having the confidence knowing you're getting one step closer every single day, or at least one step towards one step closer every single day. I don't know. Welcome to the show. Hope you're doing well. It is Monday, June 23rd. So happy Monday morning if you're listening to this when this podcast episode drops. And if you listen to this at a later time, happy that time. And I hope that you're doing well. I like to drop these on Monday mornings just to hopefully give somebody something to listen to that makes them smile, makes them laugh, or makes them feel a little bit motivated on a Monday morning. And so that's what I usually go towards on a Monday morning. If it's not feel-good music, then it's something to make me think, something to give me a new perspective, or help me understand the world a little bit better, whether that's a podcast, audiobook, or just a good song. So I hope that you guys are doing well. I've been really jamming a lot to Luther Vandross recently. Some guy, I heard it in a store. I was like, do you know what is this song? And the guy told me. So I've been listening to a lot of that recently, and I hope that you guys finding some music that you like, but that kind of, I guess, ties me in. See, I've had a lot of jobs where I've just kind of, I've had sales jobs where I just kind of sit at my desk and, you make your phone calls. I was a good little boy. I made my diligent, 100 calls a day. That's what my expectations were at the time. And I'd sit there and I'd make my cold calls, my 100 cold calls a day to try and get my appointments and try and get some, customers coming through the door. But the entire time it was just like sitting in my desk, pretty much just either scrolling through social media as I made these phone calls, because I was just like, I had like my 6 or 7 different ways of starting a conversation, and then based off of really how people reacted to that, it was just kind of like a templated conversation. I was just kind of going through the motions. And I'd be sitting there, maybe scrolling through social media, maybe watching a show at the same time, like just audio down with subtitles on. I'd just sit there and have a phone conversation with my headphones on like this. And I would just literally be either like playing video games or texting or on social media, or, I never had my heart in it. And it was something that I was good at. I've always been a bit of a conversationalist. I like to talk. I like to listen. I like to hear people, their stories, hear about their lives. So naturally, obviously, having a podcast is helpful for me. It's a good outlet for me. But sales was actually an interesting position for me because I naturally am kind of gifted towards wanting to talk to people and enjoying that conversational. I liked the sales aspect of it as well, like that kind of sharkiness to some degree. I liked, there's nothing like the adrenaline rush of actually getting a yes and having somebody, like, I remember the first time somebody like handed me their credit card. I was like, are you serious? Let's fucking go. Like, I was so fired up. So there was aspects about the job that I really enjoyed. Obviously, the nature of it being in a gym, I enjoyed being in the fitness facilities. I enjoyed, seeing somebody's life actually change, when they join a gym and get a trainer and do these things. That was a very fulfilling part of it. But for some reason, whether it was my mindset at the time, whether it was the wrong place or the wrong time, I don't know what it was, but my heart just wasn't in it. I always had this kind of feeling when I was going to work that, it would be temporary. There was never like this is what I'm going to do. It was just kind of like this is fun and I'm making, decent coin right now, and I'm enjoying the environment. I'm enjoying the people around me. And so it was just kind of like one of those things I was doing on a daily basis. And, there's so many times, I think all too often, I think everyone can kind of relate to this, or I think this message resonates with people, because I think that there's so many times in life where whether you're just taking a course or going to school, or you got a fucking job that you're just doing for the short term or whatever it is, you just kind of have this feeling of like, fuck, I just have to complete this thing. I just have to, a couple more months, a couple more semesters, a couple more courses. I just need to pass a test, whatever it could be. And we just kind of like are going through the motions. We're not actually like, our heart's not actually in what we're doing. And you see this so many times when, there's people at their job where, I don't know, something gets fucking dropped or something like there's some issue that's going on. Maybe you got to speak to customer service, and they just kind of nonchalantly just like, fuck, oh, that sucks, buddy. Like there's no actual like um wanting to. I guess you could even see it in the construction industry as well. Now that I'm a carpenter, I do general contracting, a little bit of home renos, that kind of stuff. And you come across different tradesmen. Sometimes you hire like subcontract an electrician or a drywaller or whatever, a tile setter or whatever, has to get done. And then there's some guys out there that are just like, whatever. Yeah, we don't do that. We don't normally do that. That job's a little too big. That job's a little too small. This is that. This is whatever. This is not possible. And then you get guys that are just go-getters. They love what they do. They love to find solutions. There's we don't normally do this, but let me find a way to do it. And I think that the difference between those two people, the people that are actually making an impact in their communities and people that are actually, changing people's lives, whether it is just something small or something significant, something huge in their house, or just, taking the time to figure something out, figure out a problem, and this goes back to sales as well, to actually figure out the problem that you're trying to solve, not just, be like, oh, I have a cure-all solution for everything and everyone should buy this service. And then if there's any issues, it's the customer's issue, not yours, and, just this kind of like nonchalant, kind of apathetic way of just wandering through life. And I'm not trying to say this as like a shameful, like guilt-ridden message, because like I said, I've been there too. I've been in jobs where like I kind of knew in the back of my head, like, oh, this is temporary. And those are the times where not just do you let things slide, if you have a job to do and you see that it's not 100% done, but nobody will really notice, like, yes, definitely you'll let things slide if your heart's not in it. But it's also just like kind of like those soul-sucking positions where you're just like, I don't know, like a cashier, or you're just like kind of something where you can actually genuinely just go through the motions. Or another example is like I used to work at a thrift store back in the day when I was a teenager, one of my first jobs, and all my buddies worked there. But the only fun part about working there really was just that my other buddies worked there, the guys that I played rugby with. And so like when I wasn't working with them, when I was just working with random people, that when I'm a teenager, I'm just a little shithead. I was half the time I'm like sneaking headphones in. I'm just trying to basically do the bare minimum, collect my paycheck, be there for when my boss expected me to be there, go and do like these little courses in the back room kind of thing, and just fuck off with my buddies. And, just like realistically, you're like maybe adding to the environment in terms of like customers might like you and your nonchalant, laid back energy. But eventually, like, people are going to just be like, it is what it is. There's a lot of, and this is like when I hear people say like NPCs in the world, this is literally the first thing that comes to my mind is the people that literally just go through the motions every single day. And, they have the same, pre-thought out answers to the old, how you doing? Hey, how's your day going? They're just like, fuck yeah, good, thanks. How about you? They just kind of go through those, there's no actual, not just that you have to like trauma dump on everybody and just be like, oh, well, this day fucking sucks and this, that, and the other. But it's kind of like like when people are actually having conversations, like they are trying to connect for the most part. And then, like I said, when there's people out there that are just kind of like going through these motions, that's where you get like that's fucking NPC behavior. Like the people that, I don't even know. I can't think of an example right off the top of my mind, but there's this just kind of dulling down of like the human spirit that happens when we're doing things without thinking about why we're doing them. When you're just going through the motions. You say you have to be at work at 9 a.m., so you just wake up at like 8 o'clock, fucking just kind of brush your hair up a little bit, grab a little snack for later, maybe grab a coffee. I don't know, if you're in a construction environment, like there's those guys that just fucking stop at the gas station, grab a pack of darts and a Monster energy drink and fucking let's go. And they just show up to work and like, oh, what are we doing today? Well, we're going to fucking frame this wall, or we're going to, I don't know, install the toilet or whatever it is. And so you're just like, well, we got fucking 8 hours, so I don't know, buddy's going to go on a smoke break. We'll go take a toilet out, do some cuts, and then maybe go for lunch. And then you're just going through the motions. You're not actually thinking about why you're doing what you're doing. And I'm hoping, like, this is assumptive that people are even in a career path that they even want to be in the first place. But there's many opportunities where, like I said, there's been times where I've had jobs where I wasn't into it. And then there's been other times where, like, one of the good environments for me, a good job for me, was working in a restaurant because, like I said, there's the communication thing. I love having conversations. I love chatting with people. I love being on my feet, walking around. So, and I love food. I love the environment. I just love kind of people hanging out and having a good time. That has always been like an environment that I want to be around. And so there's been jobs where even I didn't love every aspect of my job, and I damn well knew that it wasn't going to be permanent for me, but I was just, my heart was in it. Like, I genuinely enjoyed doing the things that I was doing, whether that's just like, hey, show up to work and basically, like, the way that I looked at it with some restaurants that I worked at is like, basically this is a party. This is just low-key partying, and everyone else just gets to drink, and I don't really, because not a big drinker. So, like, I just enjoyed being the facilitator of the party, especially when, you bring them around to beers or around to tequilas or a round of whatever. And, it's on the house, you just pay for it yourself, and then fucking tips roll in. And so that was kind of the system that, I guess what I'm trying to say is, because I was enjoying it so much, there was little things like I really took pride in having a clean section. I really wanted to have like my tables all wiped down. I really wanted, like, there was times where I was like, it was dead, it was slow. And not that I'm the ultimate go-getter, but it's like, yo, Mark, can you go and wipe down those windowsills? Can you go and do this? Can you go and do that? And instead of being like, fuck, oh, yeah, I guess I can do that, it's like, yeah, I'd rather do that than just sit here with my thumb up my ass. And so because I had this idea of like, oh, well, I wanted to make more tips because I had a goal in mind. I wanted to make a certain amount of money that summer. And so, like, I knew if I went in with a good attitude and just like good energy every day, I was going to make more money. And so that was kind of motivating for me. And I kind of knew why I was doing what I was doing. And so it wasn't just about, just doing things that I enjoy doing and going. It's not like I was super passionate about waiting tables and fucking cleaning restaurants. But what I was passionate about, what I was enthralled with, was just being enthusiastic and just having a higher energy. I remember I used to tell myself, like, it was just be positive and be enthusiastic. And those were the days that I made the most amount of money, because it's like that kind of energy is magnetic. Like, there's like, people want to be around it and want to talk to you. And, you develop, if you're working in a restaurant, you develop regulars, the people that come and request to sit in your section, maybe a group that you serve happy hour to every Friday or whatever it is. You get to know them on a first name basis, and life just becomes better. And then, there's parallels to that. Maybe there's a place that you stop by to grab materials or supplies for your job. And there's the NPC version of that, where you just walk in, you grab whatever you need, you fucking leave, and that's that. And then there's the other side of it where you actually start to talk to, hey, how's your day going? Oh, buddy, man, thank you so much. Like, I really appreciate that. Like, there's people that I talk to out there that are suppliers, people that I just work with half the time, that I know more about their lives than the people, that I've known for years, just because, like, oh, I hear, oh, so-and-so's dad passed away, so-and-so's this, that, and it's not always great, maybe talking points, but there's just this deep interconnection, I think, that most people are starving for nowadays, that I think that they all, that kind of connection that we're striving for or wanting so bad in life is just kind of bastardized via, social media. We find that we're just keeping up with the people in our lives if we see their posts, or if we share memes with them or whatever it is. And I think that, that kind of idea of like NPCs being out there has actually stemmed from that. And so I think that if you are somebody like me who's looked around and been like, yo, this is an absolute simulation. Like, there's no fucking way these people are real. Like, the people that just walk around, head down, phone in their hand, just walking around, headphones in, and you're just like, it's weird. It gives like that kind of vibe of like ants in an anthill or whatever it is. Like, it's just kind of like, are these real people, or is this just an NPC that was just coded in here so that I don't feel as lonely when I'm driving to work or whatever? I don't know why or what, but there is, however, still real people out there, real legit people out there. And maybe I should have started with this, because this is kind of a funnier story that, or an interesting story you might find interesting, but it's a story that gave me hope. It's a story that gave me a renewed and refined hope for humanity, thinking, it's not all lost. It's not all gone. And so I had today, I'm driving to go pick up some stuff, and if I've got to go and grab supplies or materials for a project that don't fit in my truck, surprise, surprise, I go and I bring my trailer. And I don't know what happened. It's never happened to me before. Really embarrassing, really fucking annoying. But as I'm driving down, full trailer behind my truck, I'm driving down the road, and my fucking hitch just pops off as I hit like a bump funny. Like, it was like a construction zone, and it's going from like, how they grade the road, and then before it has blacktop. So it's like a good, like, probably few inches of a bump there. And I don't know what was going on. It's an old trailer that we made a long time ago. And so the hitch just pops right off. And luckily I had my little chains on the back. So the trailer, and I wasn't going that fast. I was probably going like 20K tops, because it was traffic. And so the trailer pops off the hitch, and I'm just driving. It's just on chains. I can hear it, and I fucking see it in my mirror, and I'm like, oh shit. And like I said, luckily I'm not going that fast. It was just a weird freak accident. And so I pull, like, I literally just like slowly drag the trailer to a stop my truck, get out, and like I said, it's a construction zone. So 4 dudes instantly come back around. They come around my truck instantly. And these are some good old boys, like some good Canadian boys, because I'm like, oh shit. And I just go and grab, I got a little pump jack in my truck. So I grab my jack, because I got to jack the front of the trailer back up to just kind of see what's going on and get it off the road. And before I even get the jack underneath, 4 guys come around the corner. They go, you think we could lift her back up for you, bud? And I go, holy shit, yeah. Like, I think 4 of us, like, it's not that heavy. I think we can do it. And so 3 of us, as one guy just basically guides us verbally, just lift the hitch back up, drop it on the drop the tongue on the hitch, and then just kind of drag it to a parking lot right around the corner. But it just made me so happy and so enthusiastic. Like, it just made me so, I guess, like I said, it renewed a lot of hope for me out there, because instantly, like, there's just like 4 guys that see a problem. They don't take their phones out, start taking pictures, start taking videos, start fucking go, oh, why'd you do that? How did this happen? It was just instantly towards the solution of just like, yo, dude, how can I help you out? Like, let's get you fucking out of here, buddy, and on the road. And those types of things, it just gives me a lot of hope, especially because I don't know if you guys remember a while back, it was like around Christmas time, I had jump-started a guy that was stuck. He was just stranded on the side of the road, and he ran to the gas station. I happened to be pumping gas, and he asked the gas station attendant if they had, jumper cables. And I'm like, yeah, I got some in my back seat, bro. I got you. And this guy's an American guy. He's like, whenever he's dual citizen. He said that he lived in America for years. He lived in Canada for years, and he was up here for Christmas. He goes, down south, if you, if you're pulled over on the side of the road, especially at night, and if it's raining, like, if you got your hazard lights, the little blinkers on, people will pull over. He said, this is him talking, not me. He's like, people will pull over, offer to give you help, offer you the coat off their back, like, try and get you whatever you need, like jumpstart your car, go and grab a jerry can of fuel, like bring it back to you. Just kind of that good old boy, like neighborly way of living. And I've noticed this as well, and I've done this shit too. And maybe this is just like a product of living around so many people, like the population being so dense in big cities. But like, you see somebody pulled over on the highway now, you're like, fuck, dude, that sucks. And you just keep driving. Like your foot doesn't even get off the gas and hover on the brake. You don't even think about half the time, is this guy all right? Is this guy okay? And that's kind of NPC behavior if you really do think about it. How there's this kind of like, not my problem. I'm so busy. I have this going on. I have that going on. I'm stressed out. I'm worried about this. I'm worried about that. So he probably called somebody. BCAA's on the way. Like, he's got insurance. He's got roadside assistance. He's got this. He's got that. We just make all these assumptions in life when, it could be a situation like mine where it just literally takes 5 minutes. Like 3 guys just come over, lift the fucking thing up, put it back on the hitch, and Bob's your uncle. And then, yeah, of course, I got to go and sort it all out in the parking lot, and these guys got to go back to work. But just this innate, connection that we all have to, like, when we see somebody, suffering or having an issue in life, whether that be just something as simple as that, like a hitch that came off, or, it could be something a lot more serious. Somebody close to you in life where they're dealing with something and you kind of, maybe they're not asking for help, but you can kind of just notice that they need it. And I think that so many times we have that kind of nonchalant, apathetic energy of like, fuck, that sucks to be that guy, or maybe he'll have help. Maybe he's got roadside assistance coming. Maybe he has this going on in his life. Like, he'll be okay. But he doesn't know how bad I have it, or how stressed I am, or how late I am, or how this is, or whatever it is. I think that a lot of the time we, this is just crazy here. I think a lot of the time we, if we just take a minute or two out of our day, a second out of our day, or some time to actually notice or see somebody pulled over on the side of the road, drop their books in the hallway, whatever it is, to just take a second to fucking, help them pick it up. You being 30 seconds more late or 5 minutes more late to whatever you're doing, I guarantee you will not impact your life nearly as much as, even if you don't fucking get the person's name or you never connect with them again, just having that human connection of like, oh yeah, I helped somebody out there. I stopped, I helped them out. That will greatly positively impact your day much more in terms of relativity, I guess, is a good way to say it. That the negativity of like, oh, being 5 minutes more late, or just taking a little bit of time, or whatever it is out of your day, the positive payoff is way greater than the negative repercussions. And so that's I think a great place to wrap this up. I think that's a good little episode for this week. Just wanted to give you guys this little reminder, this little recap of, I know this was a little bit of an ADHD episode, and I hate that term, so I don't know why I just said it. More on that another time, but just as a recap, I think that's an interesting little experience that I had going on. And so if I had to give you guys a little reminder, it's just to think about why you're doing what you're doing, and not coast through life and have this nonchalant, apathetic energy, but to remind yourself why you're doing what you're doing, and as well to just be a little bit more human in the world. Have that good old boy energy of just like wanting to fuck it. And when I say that, that doesn't even mean, obviously like the good old boy energy. It's not like you have to be an old guy and knowledgeable, but I think that stems from that kind of, when we think about our father's generations or our grandfather's generations, the type of people, not necessarily men, but I guess that's what the phrase is talking about, that are knowledgeable and humble and are able to stop and have that kind of integrity of not leaving somebody suffering, not leaving somebody that needs help, and being that kind of, quote unquote father figure for society. And I think that that's what the term good old boys means, is like that kind of, I've fucking been there, buddy. And it sure was nice to have a hand when I was in that position. And so if I can lend you a hand at all, I'd love to. That kind of energy. And I think that that we all have that capacity within us to be that person, to be, and not just like to be in I said father figure, but that, it could be somebody that's the same age as you, could be somebody older than you. It could be just like holding the door for somebody or whatever it is. I think you guys all get what I'm saying. Just like kind of cut out the shit of fucking NPC behavior of like letting people fucking, letting doors close in front of people, not noticing the people around you. This just kind of like weird energy where you're just kind of like, fuck it, I don't know these people, I'll never fucking see these people again. And it's like, well, you do share a city with them, and so you could imagine if everybody thought and behaved that way, how garbage that city would be and how quickly you'd want to get the fuck out of there. And so on that note, and also that's also another thing is like, if you find yourself, because I've been there as well, where you kind of do want to be anonymous and just avoid people and just kind of like keep your headphones on, walk through the store, grab what you need, self-checkout and get out, like that kind of. But dude, that is NPC energy. The feeling of like, oh, I don't want to connect with people, that's not healthy and that's not normal. There's times where obviously you need alone time, and I think that because we rob ourselves of that with social media and so much stimulation, we really are almost starving for it. And then so we actually look for it in inappropriate times when there actually is people around us that could make our lives better. So that's my hot take for the week. Oh, and also, I'm so fucking bad at this. I'm really bad at this. But I just remembered right before I stopped recording. Please, if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. If you're listening to this on any podcast platform, rate it 5 stars, leave a little review. And on that note, much love, peace out. See you next Monday. Love you all. Bye.